Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the Gurnee Village Board regular meeting of May 1st, 2017. Roll call, please, Donna.
Garner. Thorstensen.
Here.
Thomas. Hood.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Ross.
Here.
One absent.
All right, Trustee Garner did let us know he wasn't able to make it tonight. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item of business tonight is approval of the minutes from the April 17th, 2017 Village Board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion by Trustee Balmas.
Second.
Second by Trustee Ross. Roll call, please, Donna.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Thomas. Hood.
Yes.
Wilson.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
All ayes, one absent.
Motion carries. It's so nice to see everyone here tonight, but it's also bittersweet. I have a plaque for Trustee Wilson. I'll read into the record. This is presented to Don Wilson in recognition of your dedicated service to the Village of Gurnee. Your 4 years as a village trustee has greatly enhanced the quality of life in Gurnee. We deeply appreciate the valuable contribution you have made to our community and commend you for a job well done this day, May 1st, 2017.
Is that we all live here, we all have an opportunity to serve our community, and when you go home to your mailbox, your tax bill is in there, so there's even more motivation for you.
All right, thank you, Don. So now we get on, now that we're past the bittersweet sad part, we move on to the exciting part. We have some re-elected and new members of the board, and our administration of the oath of office will be done by Judge Patricia Fix. And are we all going at the same time? Or
You're
I'm going first? All right. I think I'd have this memorized by now.
But I'll help you out anyway.
All right. Fourth time's the charm. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Stand up to me, please. I, Christina Kovar,
I, Christina Kavart,
having been elected to the office of village president in the village of Gurnee,
having been elected to the office of village president in the village of Gurnee,
in the county of Lake, do solemnly swear
in the county of Lake, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the village president
I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of president
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. This does not get old. I am truly honored and privileged to lead this village for another 4 years. We have a great team and great residents, and I'm looking forward to the next 4 years. So thank you. Okay, thank you.
And I'm going to have you all please raise your right hand to be sworn. And you're going to state your individual names, please. I, and then state your name.
I, Tom Woods,
Having been elected to the office of trustee in the village of Gurnee,
having been elected trustee in the village of Gurnee,
in the county of Lake, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of trustee according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Step over here, and if you want to picture, anybody have family?
We'll do pictures when everybody's sworn in.
Okay, thank you.
Because we have family members here.
Okay.
I have nobody either. We'll take a picture together.
Wait, Tom is there? Okay, all right. And I think we have our newest new trustee, Mike Jacobs. Okay, all right. You know what? Let's do it this way. Might be a better picture. Does that work for your wife? Or you want the other way? The other direction. There we go. Okay. This is an important photo opportunity. All right. Please raise your right hand. I, Michael Jacobs,
I, Michael Jacobs,
having been elected to the office of trustee
having been elected to the office of trustee
in the village of Gurnee,
in the village of Gurnee,
in the county of Lake,
in the county of Lake,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of
the
Illinois,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of trustee
that I will faithfully support discharge the duties of the office of trustee
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Over there and sign yourself officially.
Mike, I got a seat here for you.
Then we have
The clerk.
Andy.
hello. How are you? Congratulations as well. All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. And I, Andrew Harris,
I, Andrew Harris,
having been elected to the office of clerk
having been elected to the office of clerk
in the village of Gurnee,
in the village of Gurnee,
in the county of Lake,
in the county of Lake,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of clerk,
and that I will faithfully
discharge the duties
of the office of clerk
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you.
And then we do family pictures. Thank you so much. Take a picture with us.
All right.
Jeannie, let's do it. I'll just wait for Andy.
They're here for something else.
All right, fun and games are over. Now it's time to govern.
Let's move this party along.
Or actually, maybe the fun's just beginning. All right, we will call the roll for the newly seated board by Village Clerk Harris.
Ross.
Here.
Garner. Balmas.
Present.
Hood.
Here.
Thorstensen.
Here.
Jacobs.
Present.
5 present, 1 absent.
All right, first item will be public comment. If you'd like to address the board tonight, you can come to the microphone and state your name for the record and volunteer your address. All right. You'll have another opportunity at the end of the meeting for public comment. I will move on to approval of the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Jacobs, second by trustee Balmas. Discussion. All right. Roll call, please, Andy.
Ross.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Aye.
5 aye.
Motion carries. Patrick, please read the consent agenda into the record.
Item number 1, approval of setting bid date of June 7, 2017 for demolition of Water Tower Number 1, 4580 Old Grand Avenue. Item number 2, approval of payroll for period ending April 15, 2017 in the amount of $745,850.36. Item number 3, approval of payroll transfer journal for period ending April 15, 2017 in the amount of $735,739.63. Item number 4, approval of bills for period ending April 30, 2017 in the amount of $1,361,942.21.
Thank you, Patrick. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as read into the record?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Jacobs, second by trustee Thorstensen. Roll call, please, Andy.
Ross.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Aye.
5 aye.
Motion carries. Petitions and communications. The beginning of May is also a very, very special night for us because thanks to the generosity of Mr. Henderson and a wonderful idea by trustee Hood, we have the opportunity as a village tonight to recognize some very, very important people in our community, our Teachers of the Year. These individuals really toil behind the scenes without much recognition, and they take very good care of nurturing our future citizens, and the village is very grateful. So if Mr. Henderson would like to join me and Mr. Hood, Trustee Hood, we have some presentations to make. First will be Frank Fitzgerald, Gurnee School District 56, and we do have Dr. Hutton here. All right, Dr. Hutton.
Thank you, Mary Clark. I'm sure glad I don't have to do that oath. It seems like a lot of people are having trouble with that, so I'm glad I don't have to do that. I want to thank Mr. Henderson and his family for being the foundation for this program. It's an awesome program. Trustee Hood for thinking of it, and of course, one of our biggest fans is our Mayor Kavarka. We appreciate that, and all the support we get from the village. So thank you very much for that. We have Frank's principal here today, Dr. Ellen Maurer, who's taking pictures for me, and we have my assistant superintendent, Dr. Colleen Packett, graduated with Tom, and we also have several staff members that are here to support Frank. We're really proud of Frank. I remember when I was a kid. I was watching the Cubs, and the Cubs had a manager, and it was Leo DeRocher, and he always said, good guys finish last. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Frank's one of the best guys you'll ever want to meet, and he's not last. He's standing here next to me representing our faculty as the teacher of the year, so certainly nice guys don't finish last, they finish first in this case. Since the 10 years I've been in the district, I've always been amazed at how well Frank's kids do. He's teaching pre-K up to second grade. And when you walk into his classroom, I'm always amazed at how well they do. In fact, I think if I would have had a teacher like you, Frank, I think I could have been an artist. I really do. I think I was deeply hidden in there. I didn't really surface, but if I had a teacher like you, I think I could have done it. But Frank is so much more than an art teacher. Actually, I'm reluctant to call him an art teacher because he teaches math. He teaches reading. He teaches all the core subjects because he knows that's what kids need. They need art skills, but they need all the skills. And he's a teacher. We happen to call him an art teacher, but he is truly a teacher. He's adopted technology. And again, when you've taught as many years as Frank, it's very easy for him to say, you know what, my kids do a good job. I don't need to do this technology. It's working pretty well, but totally the opposite. He looked at technology as a way to enhance what the kids can do. And when you walk into his art class, the kids have their iPad, and they're using it just as much as they do in math, language arts, or any of the other courses. Frank's also a leader. When it comes to things being done, whether it be at Spalding or the district, and we need a volunteer, Frank's the first guy to stand up and say, you know, I'll be glad to do that. We have an expression at our district, and we say that high-performing teachers, we say that they are the spirit of 56. And I want you to know our principal of the year, Mr. Fitzgerald, is the spirit of 56. Congratulations, Frank.
Yes, thank you to everyone, and I'm just so blessed and fortunate to have spent the last 21 years here in Gurnee District 56 and in the village of Gurnee, where there's really been a support for the art and the arts, and I really accept this on behalf of all the teachers at Spalding School and in the district, because everybody does such a wonderful job, and I really want to say thank you, sir. It really feels great to get an award like this, and everyone should have the opportunity to be congratulated on the work that they do, because it really makes a difference, and I very much appreciate it. This is my wife, Carrie, and my daughter, Ellie, and my daughter, Amelia.
All right, congratulations. And next, from District 121, the Teacher of the Year is Chris Mason, and we have Dr. Algrim with us tonight.
Thank you. It's truly an honor for me to be here tonight representing District 121 with Chris Mason. To reiterate what Dr. Hutton said to Mr. Henderson and the Henderson Foundation, obviously very, very fortunate to have your generosity, and not only financially, but the emotional support that it provides to not only great teachers like Chris, but all teachers across the community is exceptional. Our Teacher of the Year in Warren District 121 is Ms. Chris Mason. Most of you know Chris for her years at Warren. She joined us in 1983 or so, and she's on and off with some child duties there too, but this year is her 29th year at Warren. She graduated with business education and bachelor's and master's from Illinois State and Northern Illinois respectively, and has spent a lot of her years at Warren teaching accounting in our business department. So she's obviously with that experience, transitioned very well, and for the last 26 years has been a leader of our Future Business Leaders of America program, which, for those of you that aren't aware, we have the best organization in the country. And that is not just a brag. I mean, it is a brag, I guess, but it is a tribute to the work that Chris and the other sponsors, but Chris's leadership specifically, has done. We were just remarking as we were sitting down that in another few weeks we'll probably recognize about 45 or so students at our Board of Education meeting who are going to be going out to Anaheim for the national conference. And we're not only proud that they're getting the opportunity to go out there, we're proud of who they are as people, and that's because of the modeling that Chris has done with them over time. And when I see our senior students who are about ready to graduate into the real world, and I realize and I ask them a few questions about what they've done at Warren, and they talk about the impact that Mrs. Mason and FBLA specifically have had on their experience there. There's no question that they're professional, they're mature, They're very serious, and they're respectful, and they care about other individuals and understand collaboration and all those things that you try to articulate about what we hope good schooling is. And so it's just an honor for me to present to you tonight Warren High School's Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Chris Mason.
As Dr. Algrim said, I did start here in 1983. It was 83. So I was here before the fire, during the Lake Forest years, during some floods, moving back, going to Almond, and so forth. So I feel like I've been here for a good portion of the personality that Warren Township High School is today. I live in the community. My kids graduated from Warren. They went to Woodland. And I'm very, very proud to accept this. Thank you so much. And I have to agree with the other award winner tonight that, you know, all the teachers that I teach with deserve this. You know, this was my year to get it, but everybody deserves it, without a doubt. We have a great staff at Warren. We work with a great student body. You know, I'm honored, flattered, humbled to get this, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
And last but not least, District 50, Teacher of the Year, Darlene Lipsinski. Did I get it close? Congratulations.
Good evening. I'm Lori Casey. I'm here tonight on behalf of District 50 and Dr. Joyce Swoboda, who wasn't able to be here because she had some family obligations. We also have a board meeting tonight, so we're kind of all over the district. But I am truly honored to be here and wanted to thank you for what you've done with this award. What it does is it brings the community together. It brings parents and students and teachers together to talk about all the great things that we're doing. So in our district, we had over 200 nominees come in, and you're looking at the best of them. So Mrs. Lipinski, out of everybody, was chosen to be our Teacher of the Year. She's been in our district for 16 years. She has been started at our elementary school and then chose to go to the middle school, which not a lot of people do. But she chose to go to our middle school. And when I was thinking about tonight, you know, what to say about Darlene. First of all, when people heard about who won the award, you could hear it erupt in the district. You know, you could hear everybody, and you could feel it because people knew that she exemplified what we want people to think of when they think of District 50 and our students and our staff. And what makes Darlene, you know, an exceptional teacher above all the other things that so many of our staff do is that she truly builds relationships with students and with people. You always see her smiling. You always see her talking to students. You always see her caring. And I think anybody can teach the content, and our students can get content anywhere. They can look it up on Google, but they can't get somebody like the teachers we have like Darlene, and that's what makes her different. So she had students and teachers and parents that nominated her, and I think that's the reason why. So she knows anybody that's ever been in her classroom, after they leave her classroom, they know that they had somebody that really cared about them as a person and cared about them in their future. And many of them come back to tell her those things too. So like you previous winners had said, we love this week. It's Teacher Appreciation Week, in case you didn't know, so feel free to go back and thank a teacher. But she exemplifies what we want everybody to think of when they think of all the caring people we have in our district, and that is our Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Darlene Lipinski.
Thank you very much for this honor. Thank you. I appreciate it. As the other Teachers of the Year said, we don't do this job alone. I'm just a sum of all the awesome teachers that I've worked with over the years. I'm inspired every day by the dedication of teachers who show up in the classroom without agenda, just to teach the kids, because that's who they believe in. So I am very honored, but I accept this on behalf of all the teachers out there. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I do. I do have family here. I have my husband, John. There. I also have some of the best teachers that I've been able to work with that actually came here to support me, which was really sweet. I have Denise Nizzi, Ellie Gradner, and Jennifer Therens. No, not least. Not least. So, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Most important part of the night, isn't it?
How are you?
All right, well, again, congratulations to all our teachers of the year, well earned and well deserved. So item number 2 is approval of a proclamation designating May 2017 as Building Safety Month in the Village of Gurnee. The Community Development Department and Fire Prevention Bureau address critical safety issues in the built environment that affect citizens in everyday life and in times of natural disaster. And our confidence is achieved through the devotion of building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, laborers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And these officials develop and implement the highest quality codes to protect Americans in the buildings where we live, work, and play. And the international codes, the most widely adopted building safety, energy, and fire prevention codes in the nation, are used by most U.S. cities, counties, and states. And Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our local code officials play in public safety by preventing fires, accidents, and ensuring structures are safe. And this year's theme, Code Officials, Partners in Community Safety and Economic Growth, encourages all Americans to consider the importance of building codes and to understand and appreciate the best practices build codes encourage to keep buildings safe. And each year, in observance of Building Safety Month, Americans are asked to consider improvements to building safety and sustainability at home and in the community while acknowledging the service provided by local building departments that protect lives and property. Now, therefore, I, Christina Kavark, Mayor of Gurnee, do hereby proclaim May 2017 as Building Safety Month in the Village of Gurnee. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Balmas.
Second.
Second by Trustee Thorstensen. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion carries. Next is Proclamation for National Police Week, May 15th through 21st, 2017. The Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. And the members of Gurnee Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of Gurnee. And it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement agency, and that members of our law enforcement agency recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And the men and women of the Gurnee Police Department unceasingly provide a vital public service. Now, therefore, I, Christina Kavark, Mayor of the Village of Gurnee, call upon all citizens of the Village of Gurnee and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 15th through 21st, 2017 as Police Week. I further call upon all citizens of the Village of Gurnee to observe Monday, May 15th, 2017 as Police Officers Memorial Day in honor of those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of duty, and let us recognize and pay respect to the survivors of our fallen heroes. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion by Trustee Jacobs, second by Trustee Balmas. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it will be National Police Week. It's the end of our petitions and communications. We'll move on to reports. And we have a report tonight from our civil engineer, Nick, and he's going to update us on floodplain property buyouts, which is pretty timely considering where the river's at. So thank you, Nick.
Yeah, no, we had talked about this a couple months ago as far as getting engineering back here to just review the progress we've made with our floodplain purchases and kind of what's on the horizon. So Nick threw together some information and is going to run through that for you quick here tonight.
Sure. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Mayor, and hello, Board of Trustees. Tonight, I'm going to go through briefly the progress that has been made by the village the past years. On the PowerPoint I have up on the board here, it's a map of the downtown region of Gurnee. The properties located in red have been the properties that have been removed since 1987. So in total, we have removed 26 structures within the floodplain. In 2001, the village developed a comprehensive flood mitigation plan, which went over various topics such as where the source of flooding is occurring, where in the village the flooding is occurring, what is the source, and then one of the topics was floodplain acquisitions for flood prevention and flood protection. They suggested 44 structures to be bought out or removed from the floodplain. Of the 44 structures, we have removed 19 structures since 2001. So in total, we have removed 26 structures since 1987. From 2001, we've removed 19. The village has developed a new priority list, which is indicated in green on this map. It focuses on structures that fall within the 10-year floodplain, so structures that are within the area that floods the most frequently and often. We base certain criteria off of various things, such as if it's in the floodway or floodplain. Mainly we focused on lowest adjacent grade or lag, which is the elevation at which, if you were to think of a structure, a building, and if it were to flood, it would be the ground elevation at which the water would touch the foundation. So we were using that as our biggest risk factor. And again, we focused on properties that fall within this 10-year flood elevation. As you can see, the green and red are all in close proximity to each other. Recent floodplain acquisitions was in 2015. We had two properties, 1001 Kilbourne Road and 1018 Kilbourne Road. Those were applied for through federal funds in 2015, and we received those funds. And in 2016, we actually demolished those buildings. Some of you may have saw that last summer. One of the most recognizable buildings was the log cabin, 1001 Kilbourne Road. This past year, 2016, we worked with 3 property owners. I had 5 structures for the application process. Unfortunately, we did not get any funding for this year. But with that said, I think the village should continue participation in these federally funded programs for floodplain acquisitions of structures within the floodplain. I think we should encourage property owners and have continued involvement with these residents and property owners and making sure they're aware of such programs. And then lastly, I think we should be able to focus on these structures that, these new structures, those structures listed here are shown in green here as one of the village's priorities for future floodplain acquisitions. With that said, I'd like to answer any questions if you have any.
Nick, are these, the ones in green are all floodway or some of them flood zone?
Correct. Majority are floodway.
Okay. So if they're pulled out, they can't, if somebody were to buy it versus the village, they can't build on it unless they're in a flood zone.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
They can only build on it if it was in the floodplain. And there's certain restrictions that come along with that.
That's why we have the bank.
Footprint is there.
Floodway, no. Floodway, no. Even with a footprint, you can't rebuild floodway.
Like I could tear down and rebuild right where our building was.
So floodway, you can rebuild as long as you don't change the footprint? Okay.
Even with substantial improvement? Oh, okay, yes.
Okay. Questions from the trustees? Trustee Ross?
I'm wondering about the property that's right next to Viking School. It's like the number is close in the front on one side and then it's way in the back on the other side. So is that, it goes all the way back? That it's in, is that floodway or floodplain?
4528 Old Grand Avenue is floodplain.
And then the front part is 4510.
4510 is also floodplain.
So that's one of the ones that we'd really like to take out. That's a priority then?
Yes.
Because of the repetitive losses, probably.
It's only a priority based on its lowest adjacent grade, so it's in relative to the base flood elevation, so the 100-year flood elevation. The greater that difference is, the lower, the more significant damage there could be with the property.
But in your list, it says that it hasn't had any lost claims, right?
Correct. Only 7 properties on the list have actually had claims, 4 of which I believe had multiple claims.
Mayor, could I ask Nick a question? Then?
Yeah, Trustee
So it
Torkelson.
appears then if you look at the chart behind the visual, right, that we're sorting on the below what?
Below the BFE, so that's the lag elevation compared to the base flood elevation.
So the priority of the list goes to those at the top with the greatest below BFE.
Correct.
Plus the fact that they've had a claim or not necessarily?
Based off this list, it's only off the lag and BFE. But obviously having a claim is a factor.
Well, we've made good progress. Still a ways to go. Do you know why we got turned down this year? Just we'd had too many good years, or? I mean, we had a streak of great luck with applying for the grants and we didn't get a reason, we just turned down.
Would you like to take this?
It's my understanding that the cost-benefit ratios for the properties that we submitted were not high enough to achieve the grant program's desires.
Well, we're working towards never having to sandbag again. Incremental progress forward. All right, any other questions from trustees? All right, well, thank you very much, Nick. This is good information. Updated information. All right, then we have one item under old business, approval of ordinance 2017-21, authorizing an administrative service agreement between the ICMA-RC and the Village of Gurnee.
Sure. So we had this on the agenda last go around. ICMARC is our is a 457 deferred comp plan that's offered to the village employees. We've had a long working relationship with them. It goes back over 20 years. A good percentage of our employees participate in it and have been happy with it. They came forward to Christine a couple months back. The current agreement that we have with them just rolls automatically. It's got a 60-day cancellation notice, but it's continued to roll. They came back requesting a 7-year agreement and to eliminate some fees that are incurred by the employees, not the village. The village has no out-of-pocket costs as it relates to this relationship. There was some concern about the length of the agreement, so we pushed back on ICMARC. They came back the shortest to make their numbers work, to be able to eliminate the fees, was a 5-year agreement. So that's what's before you tonight. All other terms remain the same. 5-year agreement. They'll pull those fees out that were previously charged to village employees. As I said, there's no cost to the village itself, just employees. Had a good working relationship with them. Employees have been happy, so we don't see any changes in the near future or moving away from them. So before you is this 5-year agreement with those fees removed for consideration.
All right, questions from the trustees?
I was just going to say, good job moving it from renegotiating it down.
Yeah, Christine leaned on them, so she was able to get a couple years knocked off. So.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Ross.
Second.
Second by trustee Jacobs. Roll call, please, Andy.
Ross.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Aye.
5 aye.
Motion carries. We'll move on to new business. Approval of ordinance 2017-22, amending the Village of Gurnee Personnel Policy Manual.
Sure. This is something we do every year to keep our personnel policy manual up to date. This year, there was only 2 changes. One was in section 2.21, employment status changes. It relates to when someone changes from either full-time to part-time, part-time to full-time, retire and wants to come back, just to make it clear as far as what the benefits will be when they make that transition, so that we're not having different deals for different people when they come through. So this sets it in stone. Everyone will be clear as far as, you know, if they're working part-time and they want to come full-time, they'll know what their benefits will be. Other change just was section 3.3 regarding sick leave, and that was just updating some language to reflect state law. So there was a redlined version in your packet. As you can see, not too many changes whatsoever. Update we do on an annual basis. Christine Palmieri is here, our HR director. She's the one that handles the update in conjunction with our labor attorneys if they're needed, to make sure that everything's up to snuff. So if you've got any questions, Christine is the expert.
Questions from the trustees?
Yes.
Trustee Jacobs.
From the labor attorney himself. Christine, 3.3 subparagraph 2. Are we really going to require our employees to get a doctor's note when their kid stays home from school for 1 day? It seems a little counterproductive in the day and age where a doctor's appointment costs $50 for somebody to go to the doctor to say, my kid has a 100-degree fever for 1 day.
Our current practice is not to require it for a day. It's only when it's going to exceed the time limit.
Yeah, it seems a little, because subparagraph 1 says it's not required for 3 days, but subparagraph 2 leaves that language out. I have a little concern over it, that it can be used against an employee in certain cases. I mean, if that's what the practice is, and if it's going to be codified that way, great. But in the event that it can be used against a certain employee, that does raise my concern a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, we wouldn't require it just for a day. We haven't had that practice currently, so we would implement it within our current practices.
And the current practice is 3 days out with a child. We would ask for a doctor's note.
Generally, it's more than 5 days. We try to coincide it with FMLA type leaves requiring notifications. So, and if it's the employee, it would be 3 days typically.
Okay.
To return to work. So.
Thank you, Christine.
Yeah, the intent's not to change our practice, it's just to come into compliance with state law requiring the time lengths that people can be off. So, and actually just more change the categories that they can take paid time off for, not necessarily our practices on requiring absence slips.
All right, other questions from trustees?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by trustee Balmas, second by trustee Jacobs. Roll call, please, Andy.
Ross.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Aye.
5 aye.
Motion carries. Item number 2, approval of ordinance 2017-23, authorizing execution of a one-year contract with MC Squared Energy Services for the provision of electricity for the Village of Gurnee's electrical aggregation program. Rate will be fixed at 6.89
Cents per kilowatt hour.
per kilowatt hour.
Yep. Yeah, so this wraps up the village's board's dealing with the electrical aggregation program. As we talked about at the last meeting, we received the bids that day. MC Squared was a low bidder. They had the best customer service that from the two low bidders that had tied. So NIMEC recommended that we move forward with MC Squared. It's for a one-year deal. It's going to be cheaper than the ComEd rate. So this just, I had to sign the agreement within 24 hours. The village board authorized that. This just crosses the T's, dots the I's. And then from here, Jack will work with MC Squared as far as all the public notification requirements. At the trajectory we're on, they'll start providing energy to the village this summer.
Move to approve.
Motion by trustee Ross,
Second.
second by trustee Jacobs. Roll call, please.
Ross.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Aye.
5 aye.
Motion carries. Item number 3, approval of awarding the Almond Road delivery structure to Joel Kennedy Construction Corps at a cost of $509,235. This bid was through Jawa North Group Expansion Project, and it was awarded by Jawa June 22nd, 2016.
Sure. So in order for us to take water off the new transmission main that's coming up Almond Road, Jawa wants to be able to bill us for that water, unfortunately. So we need to install a delivery structure there, which is basically a big underground room with a super expensive meter in it off that main. We knew this was going to be part of the project. Jawa, when they bid the North Group project, they bid the construction of delivery structures. So there were 3 in that bid packet, I believe. That was bid last year. Joel Kennedy Construction received that award. As we've been working towards the Knowles Road Water Tower and making progress as relates to our expansion out west. Now's time for the delivery. The main is in. Now's time for the delivery structure to be constructed. Jawa's agreed to add this to their contract as a change order. Joel Kennedy Construction is in agreement with that. So how this would work is actually Jawa would pay the $510,000 approximately, then they would bill us and we would pay Jawa back. This was before Jawa last week at their board meeting that trustee Balmas chaired. Jawa voted on it and they were fine with us moving forward in this direction. Yeah, that's about it. The delivery structure, it'll go up by Bittersweet Golf Course, so where by the maintenance area, so just south of the parking lot for the golf course. We're gonna plop it in there. There's room in there. We were going to, this was gonna be included in the low interest IEPA loan that we have applied for and received approval for, but we took a look at what we had in reserves for fund balance for the utility funds. So there's about $5 million in reserves. So staff's recommended that instead of tacking this onto that low interest loan, that we just pay this out of pocket. There's still healthy reserves in there. Everyone's comfortable with the $4.5 million being left in there. So and that just reduces the principal on the loan when we get to that point. So as I said, Jawa bid it. Joel Kennedy was the low bidder. Something we need to get done, and we've got money to do it. So staff is recommending that we approve this change order and get going on that.
Questions from the trustees? Thank you for chairing last Wednesday. Questions from trustees? I have a motion from trustee Balmas.
Second.
Second by trustee Ross. Roll call, please, Andy.
Ross.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Aye.
5-0.
All right, motion carries. Item number 4, approval of request from Public Works Department to purchase a Bobcat E42 compact excavator and trailer from Atlas Bobcat at a cost of $59,399. This is under the National Joint Powers Alliance price match and traded in value of $14,000.
Yeah, the Public Works Department has 2 mini excavators. One of them is up for replacement. We're trying to get our vehicles on a replacement schedule here. This is one of those that is up. Used by the utility division for digging in the right-of-way. I'll also use it for some other tasks. In the Public Works Department, it was a huge help last year, actually, with Beer Fest as far as pounding pipes through the Gurnee Mills parking lot to get the tents staged. So, a versatile machine. There's money in this year's budget. They're actually looking to step it up just one model size bigger. It has a little bit more power, a little bit more reach. Is able to load into our trucks with the hook lift setup. They're a little higher, taller than the traditional dump truck. So it'll meet that need. Worked with Atlas Bobcat, someone we've worked with in the past. Had good luck with them. They were able to match the price through the National Joint Power Alliance, which is a cooperating purchasing group that runs nationwide. Then also we're going to give us a trade-in value of $14,000 for our current machine and trailer, which being that it's 15, 16 years old, we thought that was a good deal. So recommending to move forward with this purchase.
Questions from trustees?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Balmas.
Second.
Second by trustee Thorstensen. Roll call, please, Andy.
Ross.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Aye.
5-0.
All right, motion carries. That's the end of new business. I'll reopen the floor for public comment. If anybody would like to address the board tonight. And if not, do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by trustee Balmas.
Second.
Second by trustee Jacobs. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good first meeting as a new board.